Welcome back to another episode of Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. I'm Sherry, your host. I thought this month I would talk a little bit about the upcoming educational book, my first book. It's going to be released sometime in late November, and it's called A Change in Perception. It's been a 3-year project and is nearly complete. The publisher and I are still working out the bugs and last-minute tweakings, so it'll be here soon. Many of the chapters in this book are written in a format of questions and answers, believe it or not, with my spirit team, similar to the author Neale Donald Walsch in his book, Conversations with God. Fascinating book. I thought you'd find this book educational and interesting. We're not alone in this vast universe. Here's a little insight of what will be in the book. There'll be information on light beings, Pleiadians, who are 5th dimension beings, the Hathors, that are 8th dimension beings. Now let me just give you a little insight at this point. Once we go beyond the 7th dimension, there's no more physical form. There's no more physicality. It's just pure energy, that's it. So the Pleiadians do have form. The Hathors do not. So when they speak to me, it's only pure energy coming through. There's nothing visual. So I just want to leave you that little bit of information. The Elohim, same thing. They're beyond the 8th dimension. They have no physical form. And then there's also going to be images of orbs I've personally taken through the years. Fascinating. Dimensions and galaxies. So there'll be a lot in the book. There'll also be a chapter on foods and how it can help or hinder the physical body. There'll be testimonials, my own life experiences, and the energy modalities that I use, such as Reiki, the Melchizedek method using sacred geometry with color and light, biofield tuning with tuning forks, and the most recent modality I'm using is the emotion code with magnets, developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Fabulous. It's a form of muscle testing, like kinesiology. It uses magnets. I've also added a short video on my website of Dr. Bradley Nelson doing a demonstration of how this modality works. It's amazing. So check it out if you're interested. It's energyworkstudio.com, 1 S between work and studio. So this book is thought-provoking, and it was designed to help people think outside the box. So when it comes out and it's available, I'm going to bring a copy here to the show so you can all see what it's going to look like. And now I'm going to share with you an excerpt from the book called Foreword. So as I begin, I want to just give you a little insight. There's going to be some information in here about movies that I was an avid watcher of. And back in the day, and I'm aging myself, back in the day, they didn't have computers back then. So our insights were through movies that we watched or reading. And I did a lot of both. So some of the movies that I'm going to list here for you were amazingly insightful. Very similar to something that you would get. It's like dropping seeds. It's something similar to like Nikola Tesla. He was an amazing inventor. And he was here for the same reason. He dropped seeds. Some of the inventions, as a matter of fact, that he came through with, science doesn't even know how to use them yet, but they're on board with bringing some of what he did bring through, and they're using some of them. So quite amazing, as we continue to go through the different dimensions and the different years for us as a learning human being, what we pick up and as we go along, what we learn. So for me, it was movies and reading. So I'll list them for you shortly. So as we begin, this is an excerpt from the Foreword. Many of the chapters in this book will be written in a format of questions and answers with my spirit team. It marks the culmination of my beginning interest in the metaphysical field to present day. I became committed to helping people empower themselves and overcome limiting beliefs to think outside the box with positive thought and intention. Makes a difference. This book is a compilation of years of experiences, observations, and testimonials tied in to help shed light on some of the interesting modalities that I work with. Again, the emotion code with magnets, biofield tuning with tuning forks, the Melchizedek work with sacred geometry, and Reiki. And just to give you a little insight, Reiki was fourth door dimension. Okay, so that just opened up the doorway for us to open our consciousness into the fourth dimension. The Melchizedek work is fifth dimension work. That was a doorway into the fifth dimension. So, we're learning and we're evolving, so to speak. So that's what these came in to do, to drop seeds for us to learn and help our consciousness expand. So as we release, we expand our consciousness to be able to absorb more. And look where we are. So as we continue, my intent is to help educate and bring understanding as it comes through to me. My interest began at age 13 with the 1968 episode of Star Trek entitled Empath. This ignited something in me that I can't explain other than I was intrigued and moved by someone's ability to actually heal another's ills. It continued from there with such movies as, and you may remember some of these, Lost in Space, Time Tunnel, Sliders, and that was my first introduction to wormholes and other dimensions. Stargate SG-1, I love that movie, and the wonderful actor that was the lead in it, Richard Dean Anderson, he was fabulous, and he made it fun, and I never forgot him in the movie MacGyver. It was fantastic. Other movies are Quantum Leap, Starman, unbelievable, that was so wonderful, that movie. Jeff Bridges. Encounters of the Third Kind, Cocoon, my favorite Martian, oh my God, he made it so fun. And a made-for-TV movie called Resurrection. That came out in 1999. So these are just a few. These inspirational movies triggered something in me that stayed forever, really moved me, inspired me. In 1995, I heard about Reiki, and it seemed to be taking the world by storm. Everybody was into Reiki. I took classes, I became certified in it, I started teaching it to others. But it wasn't until 1999 with that TV movie Resurrection with Dana Delaney. She was amazing. She could actually put her hands on people in this movie, literally anywhere. And she could actually tune into them and release whatever it was in their system, from cancer to AIDS to anything. Didn't matter what it was. It was a very moving movie. The movie was called Resurrection. There was an original movie made back in the 80s. I didn't see it. I've looked for it. And this actual story was based on a true story. This really happened to a woman. She was in a car accident. She went into a coma for a while. When she came out, she had these abilities. So it's quite amazing. So if you get a chance to check that out, it's on YouTube somewhere, I'm sure. So as we continue, I, at that point, knew I was onto something larger than myself, not just a childhood whim. So through countless meditations, my spirit team continuously prompted me to forge ahead with their unending persistence and help by always saying to me, stay tuned and stay connected to us. So this is a story of my experiences in this field of the metaphysical, and how sometimes to find our true purpose, one must stop looking outside themselves and start looking inside. This story may challenge you to break through that outer shell, the armor that we wear every day, and we all do it, we all have one, to uncover that. So sometimes our heart is overpowered and forgets its own life lesson. The heart is the truth and the key to solving that mystery. If we're willing to listen to the subtle voice, the subconscious. The experiences presented here, in part, are of people's experiences in energy balancing with a host of modalities that work with an individual's vibration and rhythm that is best suited for them. Now, let me just give you a last bit of insight. And I say that the reason I offer 4 modalities is because one may not resonate with tuning forks, but they may resonate with the Melchizedek work, or they may resonate more with the Reiki work, or the magnet work with the emotion code. So everybody's vibration is different. So if one doesn't work, don't quit. Find one that does. And that is for the reason that I offer 4. I want people to really be moved and find and stay with them and support them, find what works. So also, connecting with light beings will be in there. Being clairaudient, and that's what I am, clairaudient. And all that means is hearing. I can hear the other side. And the 4 modalities that I work with. These works are as old as the world itself, just revisited. Or is it that we're just remembering? And so it begins. So there you have it, an excerpt from the book. For more education into the healing arts, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com, and there's 1 S between work and studio. So in closing, if you have any questions, always feel free to email energy4522@gmail.com. I will always get back to you. And there have been many emails to me, so I'm sure that you may know some of the people that have emailed. I always return an email message. So I hope that you enjoyed this segment. It's always educational. Stay tuned, stay connected. Till next time.